Oh, you're gonna make this hard, aren't you? Hey everyone, how's it going? My name's Joshua Leonard, and this is the first episode of Crewed Up, where I talk to different people about their crew positions, so that way you get to have a better understanding of how they work. And today I have Devonte Brown here with me. He is the director of photography. He's going to go ahead and tell you what that is and how to explain how those things go. But to make this a little bit interesting, so that way it's not just your run-of-the-mill sit-down talk interview, we have what's called Zombie Skittles. And if you don't know what zombie Skittles are, they are like Skittles. It's made by Skittles, obviously. And all of the flavors taste absolutely fantastic, but one. One flavor, I've had these before, and it was unbeknownst to me that there was this flavor in there that was absolutely tastes like rotten eggs mixed with death and farts. We're going to each take one, and then I'm going to ask him a question, and we're going to go from there. So that's basically it. So before we get in that, let's go ahead and open our Skittles up. We should keep them separate.
I don't know if I want to do this.
I think you do. So you can't tell. They're all, and that's the other thing is that like the bad Skittle is in here mixed in with a good, like with the same colors. It's all the same. So you can't say, oh, that's the zombie Skittle, because you don't know.
Okay.
All right, so I guess let's go ahead and try one. I'll do a green one at first, before I ask you the first question.
I'll do an orange one.
Okay. All right, here we go. I think I'm in the clear.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, Devonte.
Hopefully I never have to taste vomit in my mouth.
It's bad. So tell me a little bit about yourself, and how long you've been doing film work and stuff.
I've been doing film work for about 5 years now. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. Ended up coming to school in Kansas City at the Art Institute International in Kansas City. Went full-time freelance in May 1st of 2015. I had been PAing before that. After so many odd discussions with myself, I went and just made the jump to go full freelance, and it's been a great life ever since.
All right, before the next question, I'm gonna do blue.
I'm just gonna stick with the orange.
Okay. I think I'm good.
Yeah.
What is a DP? What does DP mean, and what do they do?
DP means director of photography, or some people, cinematographer, basically. Basically, we're the ones who create the image. With a slew and a team of people, we're the ones that decide on how the image is framed. We talk to our gaffer about how we want it lit. And then we also talk to our director about the blocking, so we make sure our framing is consistent all around.
Got another one, but I'm gonna go with purple this time.
I'm thinking with the orange, because orange has been my friend. I'm good.
All right. So how much creative liberties does a director of photography have when it comes to making a movie over the director themselves?
It goes hand in hand with the director. I would say it definitely depends on how high up there you are in the totem pole when it comes to being a DP, depending on what you're shooting. If you're shooting big Hollywood movies, then depending on who that company is, you might not have as much control as you think. But when you're shooting more indie films or just more stuff that is spec work, you have full reign over that project. I kind of thrive in the indie world, I think, just because I feel like it's more collaborative. Not to say I wouldn't love to shoot a big Hollywood movie, of course, like anybody would love that. But I think the indie world is just a little bit more creative.
And you definitely have a lot more liberties. I mean, everyone being being an independent filmmaker, especially being a freelancer, you're trying to stand out amongst the rest. You're trying to make sure that what you do isn't exactly what everyone else does, right? So, obviously, and it's and a lot of times, you do it with no budget or little budget. So obviously, you know, making it a collaborative thing, it's a lot easier, I think, being an independent filmmaker over Hollywood budget movie, because you're getting paid for a job, and you do get paid to do indie films as well, but you get paid big money for a job, you know, doing a Hollywood budget film. So I think it's a little bit more like, I'm gonna just kind of like line up in my place and I'm gonna do my job and I'm be good to go, because, you know, I'm making, you know, $2,500 to $5,000 a day or something.
Right.
Whereas obviously, like, independent, especially for no budget movies, everyone has to, like, you know, want to be like involved in it and feel like it's theirs too. So, okay,
I'm gonna pick the one you eat.
Red. We're gonna do red.
Red?
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Oh. Oh, it's the one. You're good?
I'm good.
Oh. Yeah.
Sure, let me pick.
Oh, it's that one.
Loser.
Oh.
Mine tastes like bubblegum.
That's not what mine tastes like.
Hopefully I never get it.
Oh, there's at least one in there. Oh, you have no idea. It's coming for you. It's coming for you, and I can't wait. I'll try not to breathe on you, because it's bad. It's like cheese mixed with like rotten egg. Oh, and like somebody farted in your mouth. That's exactly what they taste like. Oh, man.
I don't know if I want to do this.
It's pretty bad.
I don't know if I want to do that anymore.
Okay, so we're talking about independent film. How does one become a DP?
Honestly, just by shooting a lot of stuff, man. It's that simple. Like, shoot a lot of work, like, and then make a website, do the networking like everyone else has to do, and label yourself as a DP. Until you do that, no one's gonna see you as a DP. They're always gonna see you as somebody else who's maybe a jack of all trades, which isn't bad. But at the same time, you want to go into a certain market, then you need to start labeling yourself as that particular job.
Okay. So, and then probably make a demo reel once you get enough work and stuff.
Yeah, a demo reel would be great. A lot of people love to see demo reels just to see the variety of things you can do. And what I've learned recently, well, not recently, but what I've learned is that depending on the job, you know, making sure you have the work for that job you're applying for. So no one's gonna hire a person who shoots cars and for a tabletop food commercial. Like, that's just not a thing. Like, why would I hire you? Don't have one example of tabletop.
Right.
You have plenty of car stuff, which is great. So if you want to shoot like a Audi commercial, that's great. But this is like pizza and it's tabletop, so they don't think you can do it, basically. So yeah, I mean, just have a variety of work is always good.
That makes sense. All right, you choose the color this time.
Orange.
My last orange.
Yeah. I'm so lucky.
I got. Oh! I got it again.
How many are in there?
I don't know. Oh. Oh. That one didn't. It took a minute. Because it's like, you think orange flavored citrus, and your brain tells you that. It's in my tooth. And so that way you're like, oh, okay, this is orange. And then pop.
This is fun. I like this.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you. Tell me about like day rates. Just generally speaking, you don't have to necessarily talk about your day rate, but day rates as far as what's the difference. Should somebody who is starting to establish themselves as a DP, as a cinematographer, who, you know, maybe is getting hired to do a corporate video, music video, you know, independent narrative film or short film. Is there a difference in day rate for that? And what should somebody charge kind of starting off?
I think a good starting rate would be, if you're just starting off, is anywhere between $800 and $1,200. I think that's a good range. And that way, definitely depending on how big the job is and depending on who that person is and how well you know them, they might go, hey, you need to bump that up a little bit. But I think that's a good range when you're starting off. Now, if you've got this knowledge, you've made the connections, and you've got the work, and you believe you can do the job, then I believe you should be able to charge whatever you want to charge, and then you take that risk if they say no or yes. That's really what it is. Some people don't care. Like, it is what it is. Like, hey, I don't care. We'll pay you whatever, basically. And then I do know DPs who I think are amazing, who don't charge what they should be charging. So, and I see other DPs who charge more than what they think they should be charging sometimes, So, in my years of PAing, I've talked and met a lot of DPs and even directors that kind of talk about, how they started off and how the whole money situation and what to charge was kind of one of those scary points. It's like, do I charge this for this job? Because I just upped my rate. It's almost like a hierarchy thing where it's like the more you charge, the more important you seem, kind of thing,
But it's also the more risk, right?
Right, and the more risk too. But then it's also like, who have you done commercials for too? Like, oh man,
Right, like something to back up.
Right.
What you're charging. Like, right? Give me this because I've done this.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Somebody does a huge, who's one of the big manufacturers, or like, let's say McDonald's. Somebody does a huge national spot for McDonald's. All of a sudden, they can probably bump their rate up.
Oh, 100%.
Like, all of a sudden they can ask for more money now. Rates are one of those things that I think personally as the DP you have to decide for yourself what you want to charge and what you think you're worth. And it's also a lot of nowadays there are a lot of owner operators, and so usually they are the DPs, or maybe they're the ACs, but they're getting a rental off of their camera or something like that.
So you can make a little extra scratch owning your own gear, even when you're not shooting.
Exactly.
Would you want like insurance or something on those?
Oh yeah, you should definitely have insurance
just in case somebody breaks it.
But depending on how big the production is, they'll be able to cover it if it breaks. But I have not been on set where camera ever broke.
That's good. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna up the ante because you need to taste one of these. God. We're gonna do two. I'll choose a color, you choose the color. I'm choosing my last red one.
Okay.
And then you choose the next color.
Purple, or is that blue? One or the other.
This one? Okay. Yeah. One at a time, so you know which one it is.
All right. That's nasty. That's nasty.
Mm-hmm. And it just kind of gets worse, like just ever so subtly. Yeah. Right. I've had two of them.
I'm trying to get this taste down.
It doesn't go away, dude.
No, I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, moldy cheese. That's what it tastes like.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes exactly like moldy cheese.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Purple.
That's better.
For somebody who wants to become a DP, besides shooting and stuff, like, say they've been saving a lot of money or a little bit of money, what's a good starter camera and lenses? Like, what's a good little starter kit somebody should get when really wanting to dive into it?
If I had to answer that question, I would say either GH5, Panasonic GH5, or now the Blackmagic Pocket. Those two cameras are really powerful for a low cost, and I've seen some amazing work out of those. I have a GH5 myself that I still use on occasion.
It's that one.
It is that one. That I still use on occasion. And I still love the camera. I don't plan on selling it anytime soon. I've used the Pocket a number of times, but honestly, I used to be a huge camera dude. Like, oh man, this camera's coming out. Oh man, this new camera's coming out. This new red is Alexa Mini.
Everyone's like that, I think, in the beginning. It's the camera's the toy, right?
Yeah,
it's the main toy.
Right. And at some point, I transitioned to this lens person, and so now I'm big on lenses and what the lenses are doing and what type of lenses they are and what's the characteristic of the lens. versus the camera where I'm like, as long as I know a certain amount of things about this camera, I can use the camera.
So what lenses, or say, what's a good starter lens, and then also like a lens kit? Like what would be a good couple of lenses to get?
Depends on what you can afford. Right now, obviously everyone loves the 18 to 35 Sigma, and then the 50 to 100 even is really solid as well. I know when I first started, I was rocking photography Rokinon lenses.
Which are good, and you can find them at Best Buy. You don't have to necessarily order them. You can get them on Amazon if you do want to order it, or eBay. You can find cheap ones. Obviously, just check the ratings or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you know the lens, then you know what the weaknesses are of it, and then you just know how to avoid those weaknesses. I would also recommend looking into vintage, like old vintage lenses. I recently just got a set that I'm cine-modding, the Japanese Shinnon lenses. And then I know a friend who has old Nikon lenses that he got cine-modded.
Hold on.
Nope.
Two. I'm going to do green and blue.
Okay. I don't have a blue.
Okay.
I'll do this one.
That's fine.
And I'll do a green.
All right, here we go. Good, I got a follow-up question.
Okay.
All right, we got Skittles left. So.
Good.
Okay. All right.
This is gonna be the one. Watch. This is gonna be the one.
Oh, there's 30 of them.
I'm good.
What does city modding mean?
So yeah, a lot of people don't know about cine modding, which kind of a shame because it's like the cheap version of like having a cine lens. Basically, it's where, let's say you have some vintage Nikon lenses, and you need to put. A lot of people use Canon mounts, so they put a Canon mount on the back. They'll put a 77 to 80 ring adapter on the lens.
And what's the ring adapter do?
The ring adapter is so your matte box can fit nicely against it. And then they'll put teeth on the lens, which is just the gears, so that when you're pulling focus on your dummy focus or on a wireless focus, that it has something to grip on too, versus you just using your hand for a little photography lens.
Two more.
Oh god.
I'm kind of getting tired of doing this, but I mean, there's still 5 Skittles left. All right, that one's good.
Because my bubble gum. Dang.
That one's good too. Let's talk a little bit about networking. So like a lot of people don't, especially when you're working on other people's sets, you're not just gonna get hired initially to be a DP. What would somebody do who wants to be a DP, who wants to be a cinematographer? What would somebody do to get on somebody else's set? Like where should they start? And then also where should they try and focus their efforts towards?
Besides shooting, if you want to be a DP, I would say you either go, and I think many people have said this, you either go to the G&E route, so you learn about lighting.
And G&E is?
G&E is grip and electric. So basically you either go that route or you go to the AC route, assistant camera. One is more technical, obviously, on cameras and things, and that's where I went. And one is more about the lighting and how to secure the camera and other lights and things like that. I went the AC route because I wanted to know how to use different cameras. So when I did start DPing, someone asked, "Hey, can you use a Red?" I go, "Yeah." "Hey, can you use an Alexa Mini?" "Absolutely." "Hey, can you use this camera?" "Yeah, I can use it." Like I've AC'd enough to know how to use these cameras comfortably. And then when I'm DPing, just in case I don't have AC, I know how to use that camera. But usually, depending on the job, you have an AC, so you don't necessarily need to know the camera as well, because you're more focused about the project and on the framing and making sure you're getting your shots you need. And your AC is worried about the technicalities of everything. 2 more?
2 more.
You should do 3.
All right, I'll do 3 so that way I can even it out.
Even it out. These are gonna be nasty. Watch. I'm fine. I got a good bag.
You only have one bad one.
So far. I'm about to find out because I got these 2 left.
I have 3 bad ones. These ones are good so far.
Fuck.
You're over here. Oh yeah, I only got one. Look at me.
Who makes this? Like, why? You're an awful human being. Why would you make this? These two are gonna be the same.
Oh, that's so funny. All right, well, I'm eating 3 of them, so hopefully the last 2 are not bad.
Yes.
Yeah. I wasn't being dramatic about it, dude. So yeah, talk about a couple of projects maybe that you've spearheaded, or ones that you're proud of, and maybe where people can find them.
I've done a lot of commercial work. Some local people here in Kansas City, Ruby Jean's Juicery, Blimp Roasters, Organic Meal Prep. Just a couple to name a few. I've done a lot of music videos, some interviews. One at the Bite downtown River Market. It's a great spot. Need to go there soon. Recently, I've been focusing more on narrative work. I've recently co-directed with a friend, Laurent Cooper, who and DP Marcus Greider, and we made a short film called Now What. I've also recently shot for you.
You did.
For your zombie anthology?
Yes.
Is that how you say it?
Yep.
Anthology series? Mm-hmm. Might. It's a good time.
It was hard.
First zombie movie.
That was not your first. That was first shooting.
First shooting, yeah. First time
shooting.
shooting a zombie movie. Yeah.
Let's do the last 2.
Last two.
Last 2.
Oh my god. I know what I'm in for.
For good measure. I'm good with the green one.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, there's my last one.
This is gonna be nasty. Oh,
yay! You got lucky.
I only had 2.
I had like 3 or 4.
That's cool.
All right, so that's everything today for this episode of Crude Up. Devonte, thanks so much for coming out and everything like that. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
There'll be a link to his demo reel and Now What in the description. And so if you want to check out his film, you can. If you want to hire him, you can check out his work, you can, because he is freelance full-time. Like the video, subscribe to the channel so that way you can see more of this and learn a little bit more about the intricate details of the different crew positions. Anyways, we are done with those nasty Skittles, and we'll catch you next time.
Later.